Good evening, all the peoples are present here. So this is Harun Kumar. I'm head of incubation at St. Peter Institute of Higher Education and Research. I just welcoming Mr. Suganth Kannan. So Suganth Kannan is from Tamil Nadu, India, and living in Miami, USA. He a graduate of Wharton Business School, and he's the number one business. It is the number one business school in the world, and it is founding chairman of American STEM Institute. It is in USA. So he helps Indian family firms make investments in the US to make money. He helps Indian startups and firms developing their business and exporting their products and services to the US market. And he is an expert in looking at startups and suggesting strategies to position up for their growth. If you have any questions about their business, means you can able to contact them, Mr. Sugar Kannan, once the meeting has done. And this is about Mr. Sugan Kannan. This is the very warm welcome to the peoples of the people who are also here, and welcome you, sir, Mr. Sugan Kannan. So you can able to proceed your session right now. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Arun Kumar. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் சுகந்த் மியாமிலேருந்து பேசுகிறேன். So we'll begin the session. So today's presentation is about how to start your startup journey and enter into the USA market. Before we begin, I would like to go around the meeting and have everyone introduce themselves. So I'll start. I am Suganth Kannan, native of Tirchi, currently based in Miami, Florida, USA. My educational background is I'm a graduate of Wharton Business School. I've also, from a very young age, been involved in innovation in deep technology. At the age of 12, I published two papers in peer-reviewed journals, and I've done research in various fields like biopharmaceuticals, mathematical modeling, data analytics. So I have exposure to wide variety of industries, and I've done projects at Harvard Medical School, and for that, there's an asteroid named in my name. So somewhere in outer space, there is an asteroid named after me, and I'm sure with the innovators who are present here today, within the next few decades, we'll have the opportunity to visit that asteroid. And as has previously been mentioned, I am the founding chairman of American STEM Institute, an organization focused on bringing innovation and startups from India to United States. And I have been in business for over 10 years. So let's go through and have each one of you introduce yourselves.
Yep. So can I go ahead,
Yes.
Suganth?
Yeah, please go.
You can introduce in Tamil also if it's more comfortable.
Oh, actually, I'm from the north, so it would be great we can communicate in English.
English, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, good to hear it. So let me just give a brief about myself. So I'm Alokik. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Creative Eyes. At Creative Eyes, we are building an all-in-one software that gives the functionalities of Adobe's design software. At the same time, it's easier to use, just like Canva and Figma. If we talk about my previous tenure, so I worked with the global organizations like HCL Group, Genpact, Amity Online. I built meta product for them, built brands in terms of creativity and outcome, having an experience of more than 6 years in design and industry. So yeah, so currently on the mission to bridge all the design gaps in India across globe as well. So would be great if we can connect on LinkedIn. So you can drop down your LinkedIn and we can connect over there to have a more interactive chat.
Sure, yeah, we can connect on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Next.
So yeah, so that's all from my side.
Okay, next person.
Hi, myself Balaji.
Yes,
Uh,
Balaji.
I'm the CEO of the Circle Experts Internet Private Limited. Um, I just based on companies based on like e-commerce. We are just working on the service oriented and product oriented e-commerce sites. So we have just started a startup in 6 months before. I'm just graduated an MBA, BEE, and I just having a worked in various sales fields, and now I'm just going through with our e-commerce sites. I'm
Great.
basically from Kodaikanal, Tamil Nadu.
Fantastic. Next person.
Good evening, team. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Myself, Arun, Chief Executive of Program, located in Suganth. So we are supporting the agri-based startup. Sorry.
Okay,
Mr. Arun,
you're breaking up a little bit, so
Yeah.
we'll continue to the next person. So we have Mahendra Kumar.
I don't think so. What the things are going on? Mahendra Kumar sir is the alumnus of Annamalai University. He's our parent institute.
Very good.
Great. So yeah, we can go for this some other persons also, and we can able to start our sessions.
Yes,
So yeah,
let's continue with the session. That'll be best.
yeah, great.
We had a nice introduction, so let's continue. So when we talk about startups, we need to understand there are multiple types of startups. So you have traditional companies like TVS Motors that started in the 1900s, and now they're actually engaging in FDI in large scale in the United States, acquiring companies and to do their design, high level design and engineering for their products and Godrej. But you have innovative startups. These companies, they grow faster. Example is Biocon. They started with only 10,000 rupees. And now they're one of the major leaders in the biopharmaceuticals manufacturing sector. And also many of you know Byju's. It's a husband and wife team that started off with doing tutoring and education and exam preparation, but now see how much their valuation has grown. And Biocon too, their valuation grew from the early stages. Now it's $4 billion US. So that's why today we are going to be focusing on the innovative type of startup, because those are the ones that are getting funding. Those are the ones that have opportunity for growth. So anytime you look at a startup, the essential factor for the success of the firm is the founding team. And teams that have multiple founders, startups that have multiple founders, tend to have a higher chance of success. So what are the three key qualities of the founding team of a startup? First, you need to be passionate about your idea. That's critical. Next, you need to be sincere in developing your idea into a business. This is where most of the startups fail. The founder is always passionate about the idea, but they lack a good partner to help them with the business side. And that's what American STEM Institute does, because you need to be sincere in building a steady sales pipeline and creating traction for your company. That's how you can get funding and make sure that the time that you're investing in your startup is well worthwhile. And being respectful of your clientele and customers, because in the early stages, you really need to build that client loyalty, because funding will be tight. So your clients, in a sense, are your own startup's brand ambassadors. They can make or break your startup through referrals to other potential customers. In Harvard University, where I mentioned I have done research before, there has been a research study published that people who write their goals and their plans succeed. So I want everyone in the audience to take a pen and paper and write down these 3 things. 1, in my business, I will be passionate, I will be sincere, and I will be respectful. And let me give you a quick case study. You look at Flipkart. It started by 2 Bansals. When they started, they were very passionate about the idea, but it took them a little bit of time for them to steady the ship. First few months, they didn't get any orders. Suddenly, they get 1 book order, and then they build up using that, getting funding, and maintaining that customer loyalty. So how to innovate in a startup and how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace? There are 5 types of business innovation. 1, you can create a unique product or service. This is what we call deep technology. 2, you can create a new marketplace. That's very common. Marketplace type based startups like Amazon, eBay, Walmart online marketplace, Uber, Ola. And in fact, Flipkart is in a sense a marketplace startup. They started with 2 lakh rupees. Now they are valued at $33 billion. Walmart is planning on investing another $1 billion in the coming year, and they should be listed on the New York. So they're a private company. They're planning on listing in the New York Stock Exchange and increasing their valuation further. The third type of business.
It's being acquired by Walmart. Flipkart is being
Walmart,
acquired.
they have a 75% stake, but always the goal is to listed on the marketplace. So Walmart, they're planning on investing more and acquiring more stake in the company.
Yeah.
So existing, third type of business innovation is taking an existing product or service and bringing it to new regions. That's something that's a little bit more manageable in terms of getting your business up and running and get your startup have revenue coming in. 4th is improving business processes. A lot of startups, they focus on B2C, but I think that many founders, they overlook the B2B aspect. The reason being that the majority of transactions in the economy are B2B transactions. So startups that improve business processes are focused on transportation, logistics, sales force, customer relationship management software, productivity tools, and whatnot. And the 5th most important is transaction technology. So blockchain-based smart contract technology, improving the payments process like BharatPay, PhonePe, Paytm, like that. And they, don't think that just because those companies have come out that there's no opportunities for you to expand in those areas. There are still many countries out there that are looking into innovation in creating a central bank based digital currency. So there's still a lot of opportunity. In fact, in the United States, we still don't have something like UPI and Paytm payments, and transferring payments between small and mid-sized vendors is very inefficient here. Let's say there's a lot of transaction costs. So there's still opportunity for innovation. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you need to look at your startup and fundamentally understand what type of business innovation am I engaged in, and what companies have succeeded in these types of business innovation and what they did to succeed, so you can emulate that. And in startups, it's always important to continuously innovate. Microsoft, when they started the company, with the whole operating systems, few years after that, Steve Ballmer, one of the pioneering CEOs of Microsoft, said that innovation is the only way that Microsoft can keep customers happy and competition at bay. So initially they started off as a B2C company, but then they pivoted. They became more of a B2B company. Specifically, they created a software called Microsoft SharePoint and bundled that together with Office and Outlook products. And they started to bring that to the corporate market. And that's what really helped the company take off. And in 2005, businesses, according to Boston Consulting Group, one of the top consulting firms, Boston Consulting Group said that only 19% of companies focused on innovation, whereas now innovation is a strategic priority, number one strategic priority for 40% of companies. The reason why that's important is for B2B startups, this is a very good trend because you have purchasing managers and key decision makers in companies who are open to taking a demo of your product or interested in having a conversation with you more so today than before. So anytime you're starting a new startup, there are 6 factors that you need to consider. I believe that most of the startups have challenges because the founders don't look at these 6 factors. In American STEM Institute, when we work with startups, we always encourage them to look through these 6 factors. The first one is time. Every one of us has a fixed lifespan, so we need to try to maximize that. And specifically, we need to understand that you need to understand how much time it is going to take you to get your first sale. So if you're in a SaaS-based startup, you can reasonably expect that it's going to take you at least 9 months to a year to get a well-looking product and get your first sale, because the sales cycle takes so long in that industry. So like that, you need to have a reasonable appraisal of how long it's going to take to get your first sale. Second, cost, your opportunity cost, because you're going to be focused on developing your own business instead of working for another company. So the foregone salary, as well as how much it's going to cost you to get that first sale. Third is opportunity. I believe this is overlooked as well. For startups to grow and get funding, investors, they're only investing in startups that have the potential to become unicorn. And that's because of investment and funding mathematics. Only 5 to 10% of startups are able to succeed. So, their goal is spread their money amongst many startups. And when that one startup exceeds, because they will only have 10 to 20% of stake in the company, they want it to be $1 billion company listed on the public markets. So evaluate whether your startup has the ability to reach that kind of valuation. And for that, you need to understand the size of the market. And then you need to have a goal, like I mentioned, and write it down. What is your target revenue in the first year after that first sale happens? Because if you don't have a goal, you'll be wandering around aimless. And fifth, evaluate what is the funding requirement. How much capital do I need to reach that target revenue? That's critical, because I've seen a lot of when we consult and advise startups, I've seen a lot of founders, when they're asked the question, what you're going to do with the funds that I give you, they don't have a straight answer for it. They say, we're going to invest it in sales and marketing. But investors, they're looking for more detail than that. They want to see, why if I invest $300,000, $600,000, 2 crores, 3 crores, how much ever they're investing, they want to see what are your plans to translate that investment into measurable and growing revenue. And then evaluate the strengths of your founding team. If you have an educational background in engineering, it's probably advised that you start a tech startup, not one that's based in biopharmaceuticals. I'm not saying you can't, but if you're going to do that, you need to have someone on your team who has that skill set and capability. And American STEM Institute, we help founders of startups find partners so that they can ultimately grow and reach the next level. So how to make you get that little bit faster revenue, how to make your startup successful. For a startup to reach the level of companies like Uber, Ola, Byju's, Flipkart, Amazon, you need to have customer brand building. That is essential. Without a brand, it is very hard for your startup to succeed, whether it's B2C or B2B for that matter. So how to build a brand? It's very expensive to build a brand. Everyone, they value, like how you have a reputation, right? You have a personal reputation in your community. Brand building is also a corporate reputation for your company. So in terms of startup growth journey, you have 4 types of customers. You have innovators, adapters, majority, and late. So when you're starting your journey, you need to find your first customers. They will be the innovators. I mean, you're innovating and they're also innovating in a sense because they're taking a risk on your product or service, something that's new, innovative. One second, a few more people joining. So the innovators, you need to understand what is the profile of the innovator customer who's going to buy your product at the initial stages, where you have 0 track record, your company is maybe 1 to 2 years old. And I think we have about 5 minutes left. And Arun Kumar, he should have all sent you the second Zoom link. So once this link completes, I want everyone to join that second Zoom link, and we will conclude the presentation and have an interactive question and answer session. So back to the presentation, after these innovators, you will have adapters, people who see that the innovators are becoming clients of your company. They follow that, they adapt, and they become customers too. These 2 types of customers are critical for the early success of your company. And instead of talking in the abstract, let me give you a case study. Airbnb. They're a $1 billion unicorn startup focused on vacation rentals. And originally they started in the United States, but now they are, all around the world, India as well. In the beginning, they found these owners who are having vacation rentals, and they needed to fill up their space. They need to book all the dates and nights for people to come and stay. So the founders, they would actually personally go to these places, take photos of these owners, living. They would take of their vacation rental and post it on their platform to help build a brand that their platform is hosting so many different, vacation rentals. And then they had a little bit of funding challenge, like how many startups do, but they didn't give up. And what they did was, at the time, right now elections are coming up in India, elections are also coming up in US. At the time, there was a major election coming up in United States. So what they did was they made these breakfast cereal boxes with the photos of the major political candidates, and they also had their brand on that box, and they sold that, and that's how they built their brand. And actually, through this innovative concept, they caught the attention of a leading Silicon Valley investor. He liked their passion, he liked their sincerity, and he invested a decent sum of money and actually saved the company, and now that's why it's a unicorn. So what I'm saying is, in the early stages, it'll be a bumpy ride, but you need to still be dedicated and passionate for your startup to succeed. And then, of course, once you get that initial batch of funding, the Series A funding, then you can bring on, majority of the customers, and then there'll be some latecomers. That's the growth and stability stage. So now we're going to talk about last slide. Few people are still joining, but last slide we talked about the criticality of building a consumer brand. And in fact, I want to highlight quickly the company Byju's. I talked about it in the beginning. Now they are a $1 billion company, unicorn startup. In the initial stages, they were having a bit of struggle, but how they really built their brand was they utilized the funding to become a sponsor of Indian cricket team and IPL. So, for starting startups, it's a little bit challenging, but there is still those types of ideas need to be there. In fact, Adidas, they are not Under Armour, they are one of the top sports apparel companies. They adopted a similar strategy to build their brand. The company was actually struggling, and the founder of the company, he put a big meeting and told all his employees that it's going to be tough for us to meet payroll for the next 2-3 months, but I need you all to hunker down because we are going to take a big advertisement in the US Super Bowl. That's a American football championship, and that's going to take our company to the next level. And all the employees supported him. So that's why I'm saying, as a founder, you need to have a vision for how you're going to build your customer brand, and you need to be able to articulate that to investors. That's how you can raise funds and become a successful company. So now let's talk about why it is important for you to come to the US market and how that will take your startup to the next level. American STEM Institute, we have worked with startups from India in multiple industries, fintech, SaaS, clean energy, because there's a lot of development in the clean energy market in India as well as in the United States. And that's because of the global push in that sector. So the United States, why it's important to come here is GDP is $25 trillion. The macroeconomic factors are key. US is still the world's largest economy. And the benefit here is it is diversified. So any startup here that is here today, we had a few nice introductions at the beginning. Any startup that has come here today, I can show you how to enter the US market because there are customers for you here. There may be a little bit of tailoring we need to do on the product, work on the strategy, but any company can come here because the economy is diverse. It's not like the Middle Eastern countries where they're focused on petrochemicals, or Russia, they're focused on oil and gas. It's not like that. All industries do well here. And United States is the largest importer. And I'm not talking just about physical goods, largest importer of goods and services. And historically, China has been India's largest trade partner in terms of volume, but now United States is India's largest trade partner. And because of that, and recently there's been some negotiations between Indian Minister Piyush Goyal and US Ambassador Catherine Tai, there has been a lot of easing of regulations for Indian companies who are looking to export their goods, services, intellectual property to the United States. So now is the right time to think about coming to the US market. Of course, if you want to come to the US market, you need to have a little bit of backup, a little bit of credibility, a little bit of traction, and you need some capital because in the initial stages, like any startup, there'll be some bumpy road, but the long term, the benefits are great because even if you can secure 5 to 10 clients, and we have helped Indian startups do that, even if you can secure 5 to 10 clients, you can show that to Indian investors and they'll be more interested in investing in your startup because now you're a global company with clients, paying you in multiple currencies.
Yep. So, sorry to interrupt, first of all. So there is recently scheme that is launched by a government Startup Setu, and Startup Setu is actually collaborating with the US market.
Yes, everyone, if you
இல்ல
can
மேம்
please,
இன்னைக்கு இல்ல மேம்
if you can please mute,
மேம்
that will
இருக்கேன்
be okay. Yes, continue.
Yeah, so I just want to just want to know from your side also, on the top of your head, what do you think about the startup Setu, and what do you think? I'm not sure, but they are actually providing mentors from the US. I can even send you one link here on the chat. They are providing the mentorship and the collaboration with the US market. Maybe I think you can more
Sure,
details
yeah. I
maybe
mean,
later
there
on.
are many initiatives like that. In fact,
Mhm.
this institute is based in most of you, I think, are
Yep,
probably based in Tamil Nadu.
and yeah, and also YC is also supporting India startup.
Right. Yeah, though, there's been a lot of push because of the two governments. They're trying to increase their
Yeah,
trade. In terms of United States, if you look at the geopolitics, the US is trying to wean themselves off of China. So that's why they are trying to partner
yeah,
with India. So that's
yeah,
the geopolitical reason why this is
yeah,
happening.
yeah. Right, right.
Yeah. And in fact, recently, I'm a business writer in many Indian newspapers. Recently, I published an article where I talk about how, India, they talk about we need more FDI in India, but that's actually not necessarily true. India is becoming a major FDI player in the United States.
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I'm mostly into this like economy kind of thing. I was like going through one of the book from Raghuji Rajan, that is like Unfold. The name is like Breaking the Unfold. They were actually talking about how China competes at their early stage, low skilled labor in terms of manufacturing and all. And now India is actually going through that stage, and there is much more potential in India.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good comment. And now let me talk about how you can strategically maneuver to expand to the US market. So, like I mentioned before, the importance of customer brand building. You need to be able to disruptively position your startup to enter the US market. The reason being, as I mentioned, it's a $25 trillion economy. So there are a lot of customers and there are a lot of competitors. So why is your product or why is your service so unique? So you need to disruptively position yourself and that's what American STEM Institute helps you do. And for start seed stage and angel stage and even ideation stage startups, our we take into account the financial situation of the startup, and as you grow and make more money, we continue with the journey with you. So we charge a nominal intake fee and then a monthly charge. So the nominal intake fee is $216, and our monthly charge to help you in any aspect of your expanding your business to the US or generic business consulting is $108 per month. So that should be manageable for seed stage and angel stage startups. And then as you grow and get funding, we can talk more about how to build the relationship. And when you want to enter the US market, you need to do market study because the business dynamics here are fundamentally different. The market is more of an open economy. So you need to understand who your potential clients are, and you need local partner to introduce you to these clients. And pricing strategy. Here it's a consumerist economy. People love to spend here. That's why there's a lot of debt in the United States. People go into debt because of the spending, but that's how the economy is built. So you're not necessarily.
Yeah. Yes. So at American, so yeah, right. So that's absolutely right. So at American STEM, you guys are actually like doing these things with the Indian startup ecosystem.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, and we help in that regards, no extra charge because early stage startups, they don't have a lot of money, but we want to help Indian companies become a dominant force in the American market. So in terms of
Yeah.
pricing strategy in United States, the focus is on the customers are willing to pay above market price for innovative ideas, and innovative products and services, but the focus is on what value are they getting. So that's why expanding I always encourage startups who have crossed that initial stage to think about expanding to the US market because there is not too much competitive pressure in terms of pricing. So that will help you increase your profitability and show a better income statement to your investors because now investors, they're demanding a road to profitability. So to show that if you have clients in the United States, it's much easier to show because you will have more profitable contracts and intellectual
So
property.
true.
I looked at a few of the Google form submissions. A lot of you are focused on the deep tech area, I think one was based on agricultural recycling, very innovative. I'm actually, when we enter the Q&A session, I want to hear about some of that. Intellectual property. So if you get a patent in India, that does not protect you in terms of intellectual property in the United States. I want to make that very clear. So if you're engaged in an innovative idea or product or service in India, there's nothing preventing an American company from copying that and selling here. So when you want to expand to the US market, you need to apply for patent here. That's how you can protect your intellectual property here. And if you don't do that, when you start expanding to the market, because of certain provisions in the law here, and we guide startups on how to navigate the legal regulations here. Because of certain provisions in the law here, if you don't do it for a certain period of time, you forfeit the right to get a patent. And then it becomes open season, especially for those of you who are in the pharmaceutical sector, clean energy, green hydrogen. Patenting is very important. It forms the basis of your company. So you need to think about that. And then, of course, export and import licenses, that requires, you need to have a dedicated person to handling that. So getting the export licenses from India, and also there are various customs clearance and insurance and whatnot when you want to import to the United States. So with that, I would like to conclude the presentation, and let's move on to the interactive question and answer session, because I want to make this interesting and get to know what your thoughts are and what your questions are. And so thank you, everyone, and let's open it up for Q&A.
Sir, Alokik and some other person, if you have any questions, so you can ask them directly.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
particular
So,
specific question?
yeah, actually, like after listening to the session, like it's so good. Like I just felt down, like in my inner soul, like I just think about all these things. So, like to be very honest, so it's completely aligned with me. The one thing that is going on the top of my head is like. I'm sorry, I'm not in a presentable mode as of now. I'm on the way of somewhere, but I am listening your session totally on point. But what I'm struggling as of now is like I just want to convey that thing to you. So I am having a venture capital call in months now. Most of the things in my startup is sorted, but I am actually looking for a PC round. The thing and the challenge that is coming, I don't know like, what is the problem in the market and what is the scenario behind it, but I'm trying to figuring it out. But looking forward to know your review. So the thing is, most of the investors and most of the like people who are sitting out in the call, they just don't. They just want to actually hear out your idea within the minute, like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, and when your idea is like too big, how you can actually explain that idea within a span of 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes? I'm trying to figure it out, like how we can solve it, how I can solve that thing, but that's a little tricky that I'm trying to solve. So, do you
Right.
have
Okay.
any suggestions
I
for it?
understood. Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good question. Actually, before I answer that, I want to give everyone my WhatsApp number. So, please note that down. So those of you who have more specific questions, you can email them to me, and we can have a call and discuss more. My WhatsApp number it's a US number, +1 954
Sir, sir, you can comment your WhatsApp number, sir.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
yeah, that would be great.
Even you can share your email as well, means the people can,
Yes, my
so
email,
that will be better.
I've also given that as well. So it's 954-999-3271. And my email is suganth@mathforus.us. I mean, I actually run 4 different businesses, but that's one of my business emails. So you can contact me via there and send me a WhatsApp message now. So I have
Yeah.
your ID and we can connect through there. So everyone send me a WhatsApp message now. To answer the question,
Sure.
you need to understand how investors think. Investors, because they have the power of the purse, they control the investment funds, and they receive so many pitch decks and so many startup ideas.
Yeah.
So they don't have much time to look at companies. Their time is limited. So because of that, that's why they're limiting their time. And furthermore, this is actually a test for you that they're putting. If you can present your business to an investor within 3, 4, 5 minutes, then you can do the same to a prospective customer. Because customers too, they don't have much time to be listening to you. They have their day-to-day routine. Okay, that's a good question. Anyone else having question?
Sir, is there any questions from Mr. Mahendra Kumar sir as well as Mr. Pada sir?
I'll ask. Sorry, I was unable to. Thanks for the nice presentation. This is Mahendra. So I am the founder of Parampara. So we have been into IT services years. So we have been into IT application development, e-learning content development. So which includes even creating content videos, e-learning videos, reality-based experiential learning content, and augmented reality-based content and all that. We are trying to pivot ourselves into a product company based on our past experience. Okay, so basically we two products that we are working. So my question here would be, can probably take your help to enter the US market. So basically the two products are, one is an deep learning based visual product, okay, which is basically it's meant for the B2B industries. Automotive manufacturing companies require a lot of visual inspection. So to some extent, there are some cameras available which solve their problem, but it entirely does not solve the problem. The cost of the cameras are expensive. So we have come up with a deep learning based solution, and through Edge, we'll be able to deliver, analyze, and one is the visual inspection part, and also the analytics of what is happening in the production line and all that. So that is one product. The another product that Audit Vista, which is basically a compliance and inspection platform. So by one of the top OEMs in India currently, it is used to completely know entire dealership network.
Yes, understood.
So they use this platform basically. Okay.
So the
Yeah.
augmented reality, virtual reality, that's a very interesting space. And in fact, if you look at US market dynamics, major challenge here is a lot of companies, they're facing labor shortage, and also the labor nowadays is not as well trained as it used to be before. So, to talk more specific, send me a WhatsApp message and we'll talk more specific on that idea. And I actually have to go for another Zoom call. So let us talk more through WhatsApp. And thank you to everyone for listening. And
I just sent you.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Sure, sir. So thank you, Mahendra sir. If the questions are not fulfilled right now means, so you can directly send a message to the people, Mr. Suganth Kannan, so you can get the proper. Suganth has already mentioned about they're having some other meetings right now in India. So might be it's the right time to join some other meeting, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Arun. Thanks a lot for organizing it.
Yes, thank you.
Just a second. Suganth, thank you for the meeting, and also
Sure, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Vanakkam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Suganth, for the enlightened lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.